Hey Alice, can you hear us okay?
Now every time the question.
Hello.
We, I don't know why it's what we did, not changing. But.
Hello?
Hey Alice.
Okay, I could be heard.
I just like
Yeah.
casually.
Yeah.
Without.
Trying to help,
actually-
you're helping.
Like, oh, yeah, maybe you're right.
No, I'm paying with the other, like, I want them to. No way. I don't see that, yeah. So.
Agenda, you can take.
Yeah, but it's like. Yeah, like it's sort of penny pound. They, it's where she gets, I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you pretty much get the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it was like somewhere.
It's a
It's
strong
Thank you.
balance.
That's not too many choices.
I get to very much turkey and those things.
Other.
Get cheers.
I think we're, no chips. Good to see you. Good to meet you again. Yes.
Try to keep it at $17. Average,
Yeah,
because
that's probably.
people are under, people are over.
The last time I saw you was here. I think so, that's what I was trying to figure out, I think it was this. That was so good.
Because my mom and I were debating my meal plan last year, and I was like, she's like, I don't think tea will be enough. No, I still have $143 left in a week.
Oh, that's great. You know, it rolls over.
I try to use it for. I try to use it like.
Oh.
So great. It's, yeah.
If you're using it, right? Or, and I have to get, I get to put a good day, so.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm good, how about you? Good.
Alex.
Al, I don't know if Alex Cordona is, I know he's not joining us over the weekend, I'm not sure if he's gonna come today.
Because I it's campus activities that's feeling the power view. So. I'll be on it.
Alex sends online, we don't see that.
There's a number. So we'll see it. And. Yeah. This is.
Well, I need it to supplement our. Oh, that's right, so it's like. And, is that right?
Or tell me what you want, you can say, Robbie, I want this kind of pizza, or wings, or whatever.
Okay.
I learned that pizza.
No, I was gonna pay with my personal account. Do we like pineapple on pizza?
You, actually, my favorite pizza is pineapple.
One of our friends' favorite.
It's never. No.
No.
Have you asked Richard? That's his favorite. It's like a white sauce pizza with prosciutto.
Richard also likes.
I can see that. Bob?
Hi, Bob.
Nice to see you.
Me.
I haven't tried that.
Coconut boba?
I haven't tried it. On a pizza?
No, boba. Or steak.
Oh, I just, I have a. I can't like.
You want one without sides, Bob?
Okay.
I'm okay, I can do that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Add the order. Well, I think that any sandwich.
Is there anything?
I've been at like a little conference the whole day. Look, they give me this, I've been playing with it.
The 3D printed.
I don't know, but it's so.
Yeah, it's not, it's not 3D printed, but it's like machine 3D printed.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And they all, oh yeah, and then they also do
I'm thinking, right, if this was red and this was orange, I'd be like, look at that tomato. Oops, no, it's good. It's so fun. I've been doing this a whole time.
I think like 3D printing for, oh, and printing.
Sorry?
We got 3D printing.
I actually have no idea.
Lady.
They gave it to.
This is actually a test, so I think it's like. Like a machine made it, but it is already printed.
So.
Oh no, this one's, they look like it's attached like different pieces.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys want to try this?
Okay, well, welcome to the S&A meeting. Before we get started, I'm gonna walk around and ask you all. We are using AI for our transcriptions, which is fancy, but you can speak to the microphone if you introduce yourself and the area you're representing.
I'm Heather Martin Johnson. I'm here to represent the Sacred Gallery and the Department of Architecture.
My name is Sylvester. I'm here on behalf of the Museum of Culture and Environment.
It's just kind of.
I'm Teresa Terry. I'm also here on behalf of the Museum of Transaction.
Thanks, Allison. I'm here on behalf of the multi-person.
Okay.
My name is Kurt Kirstein and I'm here representing West Side, East Side, and online student life.
Okay, so Alex is afar today, so he's going to be chairing from virtually. We do have a mic. Our presenters will need to speak into a mic, but then we also have one for ourselves. The speaker is above us, so we're hoping you all could use your advisor voices, or as Arrow says, your actor voices. If not, and somebody can't hear us, then we'll just pass the mic around if you all have questions.
Okie dokie.
Okay, Alex, whenever you're ready.
Alrighty. Sorry I couldn't be there in person today, guys, but should be all right. My only request is that for the committee members, if you could, I can't exactly see what of you has a question as well here. So I would only ask that you guys can do it. Any questions would happen in a timely order. Alrighty. With that being said, I call this meeting to order at 3:02. Alrighty, going into roll call. Chair Alex M is here. Vice Chair Ba.
Here.
Right, parliamentarian Rachel is not here. General Member Alex C is not here. Abby.
Here.
Eros.
Here.
Austin.
Here.
And I believe that is all of our members. Should we meet quorum? Moving on, we will go to approval of the agenda. If there are any motions on the floor, feel free to just start your mic.
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
Alrighty. All right. Motioned by Austin, seconded by Ba. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Alrighty, motion passes unanimously. Alrighty, moving on to the approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes. Seconded.
Alrighty, motion by Austin, seconded by Ba. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Alrighty, motion passes unanimously. Moving on, we have our reports from the chair. Currently no reports from me, so we move on to reports from our advisors.
Yes, just a reminder to all the presenters today that you have 10 minutes for your presentation and 10 minutes for Q&A. And if the committee deems that they would like more time with you, they will have to vote and pass a motion to extend the time. And I'll keep track and then let everybody know when they have a 2-minute warning.
Alrighty, and with that, move on to, there's no communications from CWU. So we go to communications received.
Yes, just following up after the slice and publicity presentations a couple weeks ago, you all asked for some more breakdown in their budget. That's provided to you in your binders.
please take a look at that whenever you have the chance. But moving on, we go to the first call for public comment. Seeing as I don't believe there's any public comment, we will move right into our new business items. All right. So first up for our base funding request, we have the Museum of Culture and Environment. Oh, and Robbie, if you could handle the timing and making sure that everybody's within the 15 minutes, that would be wonderful.
This is mine, just a second. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
That was the word.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carissa Terry. I'm the director of the Museum of Culture and Environment. And this is Lynn Bethke, who's our collection manager slash assistant director slash everything. And thank you so much for letting us come today and talk about the museum. We're really excited about the museum, and also for funding us this past year. We were able to have a lot of student workers, bring in more events. So your funding has really helped us with what all the things that we do. So thank you. Right. So we are asking as a museum for $11,777 in annual services and activities funding for the 2027 to 29 funding period. The museum is located in Dean Hall on the first floor in the lobby area. And this is kind of a picture of it. So we have a craft table that students and anybody would like to interact at. We have our kiosk or our front desk where our student workers come hang out. We also have our main exhibit gallery here. On the other side, we have a window, as we call the window on Central. And we have exhibits here that showcase faculty and student work and research in the College of Sciences. And then we also have another big wall on this side you can't see. And right now we have this new sloth exhibit up there. And then we finally have kind of our space in the middle where we do all of our events. So that's where we do pretty much everything is in that space. So our mission as a museum, we want to work with diverse communities both on and off campus. And what we're trying to do is bring different ways of learning to our students on campus and outside of the classroom, and to other community members outside of the university as well. And what we're trying to foster is self-discovery, global citizenship, and also environmental stewardship. So this is all kind of contained in our label, the Museum of Culture and Environment. And we've tried to wrap that all up in there. And I'm gonna tell you about our booths to go on. This is one of our most recent events that happened. This was our hands-on event that Justin was there. This is a graduate student who's an intern right now with the museum, and he has sloth bones here. He created this sloth cartoon to exhibit the giant pleistocene sloth wall, is what we're calling it, but it's really called the Quincy sloth. This was an event that we had with the community. We also have other types of events we put on. So this is an exhibit called Roots of Wisdom, Native Knowledge, Shared Science. So this exhibit came to us from the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry, and that was here last winter. We also do other types of events. This is one of our most popular events, and we're doing a biannual event now. This is a basket making workshop with Wapanayat, and Wapanayat is a enrolled Yakima Nation member, and she's also a CWU alum. She loves to come here, and we love having her. So more about the museum. We opened in 2009 in Dean Hall. We've hosted over 80 events, more than 200, 80 exhibits, more than 200 events. And we house over 10,000 art objects in our collection. And those objects have come to us since 1950. And they're objects from all around the world, but many focusing on the Pacific Northwest. We're free for everybody. We're open 10 to 4 p.m. Wednesdays through Saturdays right now. Only during the academic year. During the summer, we're closed. Most of our visitors are CWU students. So we have about 66 to 75% of our students, of our visitors are students. We also have lots of faculty who come and bring their classes to the museum, depending on the exhibit. We also have lots of clubs on campus who use the space. Organizations on and off of campus use the space. We've got lots of school kids who come to the museum, and just the general public, just people in the community come and interact with this as well. We typically have 3 to 7 exhibits per academic year. Some of these are traveling exhibits, like the one we have right now is called X-ray Vision, Fish Inside Out. It comes to us from Smithsonian. We also do other types of exhibits, like the Sloth exhibit, that are created by CWU students and faculty, about CWU students and faculty or what they're working on. This one here is called Where the Forest Meets the Road. This was up last year, and this worked with biology students and museum studies, and is on the wildlife crossings on I-90. We do 3 to 5 special events every quarter. We just did this hands-on one just recently. We had one last week. It was a thrifting show and tell, which was a student organized type of event. We also do events that are related to exhibits or openings, and just student interest as well. So our staff. I'm the one part-time faculty director. Lynn is our only full-time person at the museum. She's the collections manager, assistant director. We have 1 to 2 part-time front desk student workers who are S&A funded. These are the positions that y'all have funded us in the past. Thank you. And 0 to 5 museum interns for academic quarter. So this just depends on what students are around and who's doing what. And then we have 0 to 1 graduate assistants per academic year. Right now we have a half. So, and then here's our structure. We're under the College of the Sciences. So me as the museum director, I'm under the dean, and I manage both interns and graduate assistants. And then alongside, Lynn and I work side by side. Lynn is collections manager. She reports to the Department of Anthropology, so we're associated with anthropology. And she also has her own interns, and she's the one who manages the front desk staff. And I'm going to turn it over to Lynn.
Thank you. All right, so here are some information about our past several years of programming. You can see that last year our attendance was actually quite impressive for us at about 3,500 people, which we credit in part to the exhibit we were able to bring in, Roots of Wisdom from OMSI, that was funded S&A supplemental funding, so thank you for that. Turned out to be an amazing exhibit. We have lots of partnerships, lots of collaborations, and varying numbers of public programs. So far this year, as of early last week, we're already over 2,000 visitors, which is, I'm not quite sure where they're coming from this year, but I'm glad they're coming. We're excited to see them and happy that they are finding exciting things to do at the museum. Here are some more images from the sorts of things we do. We've really been trying to foster community at a lot of our events, in addition to those sort of like lectures and informative panels. But we're seeing a lot of interest in those like hands-on, meet somebody new and learn something activities. So our revenue sources. We have two primary revenue sources. One, right here, S&A funding has been a mainstay of our operations for the past 3 or 4 funding cycles. In addition to that, our other funding source is the College of the Sciences. They allocate us approximately $15,000 each year, primarily used on goods and services. We do have a foundation account. It's called Friends of the Museum. We don't dip into that much except for catering and sometimes fundraising events. We will look at it for example, last year, if supplemental funding was not granted for Roots of Wisdom, we would have dipped into that to bring Roots of Wisdom here as well. And then we have a donation box in the gallery. People drop, $1 or $5 in there. It's a low dollar amount, but that goes back into our foundation funds at the end of the year. Oh, and here are people installing the much vaunted sloth wall. Like if you're in Dean Hall, take a look at the giant sloths. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Putting your funding to use. So this is how we've allocated our S&A funding for the past several years. As you can see, the green, that is our student staff positions. That makes up the majority of what we spend this fund on. It is essential for us that we have these individuals there being the face of the museum, managing the rules of the gallery. The other big chunk that you see in the orange, those are traveling exhibits. So this allows us to bring in opportunities for people to see things at the university that we might not otherwise be able to provide. So that 4,200 from last year, that's X-ray vision, which is in the gallery right now. The 858 that you see for this year, that is printing the photos from that image because it was actually a licensing and build it yourself situation. We've told you a lot about this already. These are the ways that we spend the money, but one of the things that knowing that our staffing and some of our traveling exhibits is covered means that we are able to be more flexible with our other pieces of our COTS allocation, which means that we can bring in different activities such as Wapanayat, who will come in for the 4th time this spring. And last time it was over 100 people. We were not prepared, but we'll be prepared this time. So we're hoping to maintain the same level of funding as we've had this year. That's what our current request is. We have our total budget numbers in front of you. This is the brief breakdown of how that overall money is spent, what it looks like from my end, thinking about how we actually spend the money as opposed to the official categories on the budget. And in bold are the things that S&A funding usually goes to. So, questions?
Can we go back to the circle graphs, please?
Yes, absolutely.
Noticing that the transcriptions are taking up our voices.
Yeah.
Just speaking.
Should I re-say what I said?
Yeah. Perfect. Microphones.
For the sake of the transcription, can we go back to the circle graphs, please?
Yes, absolutely.
I can't really see the numbers in the green spot for fiscal year 26, but is it safe to assume that, oh, no, 1 second.
At the moment, it's about 2,000.
Thank you.
And this is, those numbers for 26 are to date.
So these are the numbers essentially at the end of 2 out of 3 of the semesters that y'all are rolling.
Halfway through February.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. You may have answered this throughout your presentation, but it was a lot of information. I'm seeing nearly $12,000 requested, and only half of that is going towards paying the students. Could you put it again in plain terms where the rest from what the S&A gives is going?
Yes, absolutely. So about half of that goes to the student workers. Another $1,000 honestly pays for the telephones so that people can reach us, that the student workers can answer the phones. About $500, $475 goes to maintaining our online database so that students and the public can access parts of our permanent collection online. And then the other pieces go to a couple of different places. Some will be traveling exhibits. That's the big chunk in orange. Many years, that's the big expenditure. This year, it's going to be more in the light blue, the events and honoraria, because we are working really hard to compensate, especially people from other groups, other communities, to make sure that their work is recognized. So that 1,500 is last fall's workshop with Wapanite, and then there'll be probably another 1,500 in the spring for her workshop as well.
When you say other groups and other communities, do you mean outside of CW?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, specifically in that case, I was thinking of Wapanite as representing part of the activation.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I don't have any more questions.
All right. Well, if there are no further questions from the committee, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wonderful. All righty. Next up on our base funding requests, we have the Sarah Spurgeon Art Gallery.
The problem isn't it? It's just me, so I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll, I'm 1 minute warning.
I want to. Okay. Okay, can everybody hear me with the mic? All right, I'm Heather Horn Johnson. I'm your gallery manager here to talk a little bit about the Sarah Spurgeon Gallery. I thought I would just go over the gallery's statements really quickly. The purpose of the Sarah Spurgeon Gallery is to offer the campus of Central Washington University and the community at large the opportunity to view and experience art firsthand. The gallery's exhibitions and related outreach programs are designed to enhance, engage, and challenge the viewer's knowledge and understanding of art and design. The gallery also presents artists and viewers alike with opportunities to explore culturally diverse ideas in an academic environment. So what each gallery programs are funded by S&A. We have 6 exhibits each academic year. The Sarah Spurgeon Gallery is open 6 days a week. On average, 4,000 visits are made to the gallery each year. In addition to exhibits, we have lectures and workshops by visiting professional artists, designers, and curators. The images that you see to the right are from an exhibit by Jean K. Simmons called Interweavings. This was from winter 2025. In addition to displaying her work, Jean gave a workshop with 40 students. They created a sculpture in the Randall Hall courtyard that anyone can go and check out in Randall. The natural materials for the sculpture were gathered from the burning waste piles. So this is a chart to give you a sense of the gallery's reporting structure. Sarah Spurgeon Gallery is in the Department of Art and Design in the College of Arts and Humanities. I am the one and only gallery staff person, and I supervise music for student workers at any time. Down at the bottom of the chart, it's kind of grayish on the screen. It shows that the gallery has an advisory committee that's called the FACE Committee, and it's made up of faculty from art and design. The committee selects the artist speakers and exhibitors that are presented and works to ensure that the programs represent a diversity of people's cultures and ideas as well as artistic media. Here's an overview of the funding we're requesting for FY27. You'll see that we do have some funding sources in addition to S&A. We have an exhibit that takes place every other year, and that's called Interstate, that earns revenue from the artist's entry fees. The gallery also has some foundation funds that we spend every year. The staff salaries and benefits for me and the department's maintenance mechanic. He does the lighting in the gallery, and he also helps with the more complex art installations. Those are paid for by the College of Arts and Humanities. So here's some examples of how we spend our goods and services money from S&A for the gallery. Art shipping and transportation is one of our bigger expenses. We also pay for fine arts insurance. Some of our other expenses are travel and honoraria for listing artists and speakers. We also have receptions and event-related costs, and we work a lot with the listing center here in the CERT to promote all of our programs to students, not just students in art design, but to students across students. The last item on that list are just miscellaneous supplies like paint, hardware, and light bulbs, and also some different types of gallery equipment. So you probably noticed we are requesting funding increase, and the primary reason for that is because student wages have steadily gone up, while the gallery has either faced budget reductions. Well, in recent years we have budget reductions, and prior to that, the gallery's funding was really flat for a number of years. Between 2021 and 2026, the minimum wage increased from $13.69 to $17.13 per hour. And you can see some students to your right working in the gallery. Student workers are truly vital to the gallery's operations. They keep it open to the public, and they do a lot of the physical work, installing the exhibits. They paint, they spackle, they learn how to display the art. They work with visiting artists. So for the rest of this presentation, I'll show you some specific examples of the gallery's programs and their impact. I think that one of our more impactful exhibits is this annual spring exhibit that showcases outstanding student artwork. In 2025, in the Jury Student Art Design exhibit, 77 students displayed their artwork. And we raised over $4,500 in awards. And those awards were given to student artists. And these awards include monetary awards that are technically scholarships, as well as purchase awards. So the university has a permanent art collection, and these are custom. And so when the student receives a purchase award, that means that the university supplies their artwork, and then they get to put that, on their resume. They have sort of that, they're distinguished as having their artwork in an important collection. Our attendance is always pretty good at this exhibit. We had 713 people attend the exhibit, and then we had 242 people at first. So this is a big amount. This is a quick quote. This is from Sophie Spartanley. She's a double major in art history and art education. Sophie's currently a senior. And I'll just read the first part of Sophie's quote. It says, "The juried art exhibit is very beneficial for students. Through this exhibit, I shared what it's like to have my work in a setting. I won an artistic achievement award from now on my resume, I can add that I'm an award-winning artist." And I guess it's also important to note that the exhibit is not restricted to art and design students. Any students taken one studio art class or one graphic design class can enter this exhibit and participate. So collaborations both on and off campus are an important part of the gallery's programming. The Ferris exhibits included artwork by 15 non-traditional metalsmiths and blacksmiths from across the US. It was a collaboration with Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies and the Society of Inclusive Blacksmiths. That's a nonprofit arts organization that's based out of Seattle. The artists that you see here gave a panel presentation in the MCC, the Multicultural Center in Black Hall. That was attended by students and faculty from a number of different areas on campus. Gallery programs are an opportunity for students to learn about diverse identities, cultures, and viewpoints through the visual arts. For example, GMA lends paintings reflect her interest in the plants and the natural landscape of Hangzhou, China, where she grew up. The artist also researched traditional art forms created by Hmong peoples in Southeast Asia and illustrated a children's book with a Hmong refugee child as the main character. And you can see an image of that children's book is called The Rock in My Throat. And the Wildcat Shop attended that exhibit opening and sold some copies of GMA's book at that. And we also had some good participation from students and faculty from the Asian Studies program for the students. So I guess this is just a sneak peek for a new exhibit that I'm working on. It will include artwork by 30 alumni who graduated between 1996 and 2010. It's part of an exhibit series called Crossroads and Connections. One goal of this exhibit is to connect current students with alumni who can provide them with advice and inspiration for their future careers. The alumni get to come back. Oh, okay. The alumni get to return to CWU to see their former professors, classmates, and they also get to meet current students who can benefit from their knowledge and expertise. So that's something that we have coming up. Alumni show. But you might have, I'll get to you.
One of the costs or one of the items listed under goods and services would be the shipping of the art. I was just curious, how often do you guys rotate your gallery or add in new pieces?
Yeah, so we have 6 exhibits per academic year, so we have 2 per quarter. And because our gallery doesn't have a permanent collection, every time we have an exhibit, the art needs to come from somewhere, and then we have to, return it to the artist or the collection after that exhibit. So that's why it's on a per year basis.
I have one more. It was mentioned that during the, I think, the 2025 exhibit, there was $1,635 raised. Is that, do those proceeds go directly to the artist, or does the gallery get to some of it?
No, we don't keep any of it. We raise it all specifically as awards for the students, and the students get it. They get that.
So, correct me if I misheard that, but the money that is extra from these allocations? No, okay.
That's it. That's money that's raised specifically for the jury students of it as awards.
Okay.
So it's not part of the S&A allocation.
And we're looking at almost $30,000 in goods and services, 24,000 of that being paid for by the S&A.
That's great.
Could you go through what those are again for me?
Well, so we go back here. So what we're requesting here, so if you look at our expenses, so we've got, 11,000 that would be for student payroll. So those would be for students that I supervise. We've got 330 in student benefits. And the goods and services, that's the shipping, the artist honoraria, the events, the promotional materials, that's everything that we need for our exhibits, plus some, supplies and a little bit of equipment for the gallery. So.
Okay, so that's just around just over 4,000 per event.
That's accurate. Yeah, that's good. Good man.
Thank you.
Question.
Yeah. So share.
I apologize, other of you, your advisory committee, does it include students?
It does not currently. Yeah, thank you. That's a good idea.
Sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't get involved.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So who decides, how are the, no, maybe not who decides, how is, yes, how is it decided what kinds of exhibits are put on? That is to say, are the students coming up with, things that they want to do art on, or is it being decided for them?
So we have a committee, it's called the base committee. And there are art and design faculty and myself that are on the committee. So we asked for proposals, from the faculty in art and design, and we go over those proposals. And then we try to, I think, achieve a balance of different types of studio areas, different types of art throughout the year. Different types of exhibits that will, appeal to different students focusing on different types of art and design. I should mention, because we have studio art, but then we also have graphic design. So we also have commercial artists in our department. And so that is how we determine the galleries program. But something I should also mention is that in our department, we have Bachelor of Fine Arts exhibits, and so these are student exhibits, and we have the Separate Gallery that is devoted purely to student artwork and student exhibits. The Spurgeon Gallery has the one like really big student exhibit each year where we have, between 50 and 80 students show their work all at the same time.
Let's clarify,
Yeah.
this, the faculty chooses the theme and then the students try to match that theme and get selected.
So the jury student exhibit, so the one that I was talking, I'll go back to that slide here. So there's no theme, students just enter work, they can enter up to 3 pieces. And we hire outside arts professionals, we hire jurors who are outside judges, one for studio art, one for graphic design. I think in 2025, we had 140 students enter work, enter up to 3 pieces, and then our outside artists, they select, what roles they get. So it's a contest, basically.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, you should come to our. It's fun.
Yeah, I actually want me to do.
The other button.
She's got.
The mic.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to ask you about this slide with the exhibit attendance and the award ceremony attendance. Do you happen to know how many were students versus staff versus community members?
Yeah, I'd like to put together some sort of a questionnaire, where we give to people when they come into the gallery. That's something that's been on my list of things to do. Just that I'm the only gallery staff person, and sometimes getting around to it is a little bit difficult. We have our 4,000 visits to the gallery each year, and my best estimate is that 75% of those people are students, faculty, and staff, and 25% are community members. The gallery's open on Saturdays from 1 to 5, and that's when most of our community members, that's where we come in because parking is free. Parking is hard during the week.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for your time. All right. Moving on, we have the West Side Student Life base funding request.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, you're used to that.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kurt Frischnein. I am really actually the Associate Vice President of Academic Affairs, but I also work with the centers. As you know, we have 7 centers. We have 3 on the west side and we have 4 on the west side and 3 on the east side. And what I'm here today to do is to ask for funding to continue our student life programs for the West Side Centers, East Side Centers, and online students. And I also want to say thank you so much for funding us up until now. We've been able to continue our programs, our student life programs throughout the centers and online because of the money set to us. So what are we doing? We are taking care of student life that impacts about 450 students across our CWU centers. And the last check we did, it was about 1,300 fully online students. The vast majority of them are from the West Side. They go into online programs and don't actually, they might associate with the centers, but they're not taking their classes at the centers. The locations we have on the West Side, we have Linwood, Des Moines, and Pearson JBLM. They're kind of associated, but they're also treated as different centers. So we kind of count those as two separate centers. On the east side, we have Yakima, Wenatchee, and Moses Lake. And then we have our population of students that are fully online. And these are students who don't get the opportunity to walk through the CERC or through Barge or through any of the other buildings and see all of the events that are being planned here on the Ellsworth campus. They don't have that access. And so the monies that you give us allow us to run student life programs for these students to give them a sense of belonging and a sense of I am a CW student. Why the Centers on Online Student Life exists: to ensure equitable access to co-curricular experiences, to foster belonging and connection, support professional momentum, and recognize student achievement. I want to bring up a little bit or put a little emphasis on those last two. We are shifting our view over the last couple of years to incorporating more programming that enhances the degree experience of the students. So the students may be completing their courses in, accomplishing their outcomes for their programs. What else can we do for them? What other programming can we give them that will enhance their soft skills that the employers are asking for, or give them kind of that edge up? And then recognize student achievement. I'll talk about that a little later, but for the West Side and the East Side, both, we have an end of year awards event that is funded by the S&A dollars. What do we do? Well, we have three kind of categories. We will do cultural and identity-based programming. So we'll have events for things like Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Ramadan observances, Lunar New Year, and Women's History Month. We also are really focusing on career and professional development, and we're bringing in more and more guest speakers that can come in and, again, teach students skills that they may not be picking up in their academic programs. We have education career panels largely on the east side, where our primary focus on the east side in the east side centers is elementary education. We focus on opportunities for students to pick up leadership skills and develop career pathways. And then we also do community and wellness, where we just do stuff that's just kind of fun, right? We do finals, de-stress events, recognition ceremonies, and peer connection events. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. This last, I think January, we had a guest speaker come into the Linwood Center, and that guest speaker was a CW alumni. He works for Microsoft. He actually worked for the radio station here at CWU for a long time, and then worked for other radio stations before he made his way to Microsoft. He gave us kind of an update on his career pathway. How did he get from CWU to where he is today? And it was attended by about 120 people, largely online, but still, it was attended by a good number. We also do education career support. We were really focused on the education career that we have every year here at Central. We spend some S&A dollars to get students here, to get them transported here so that they can actually meet with employers at that event. We'll do virtual resume workshops for future teachers. We do educator panels. We do something called Education After Hours, where we invite educators who've potentially completed our programs, but are actually out there in the field doing what the students are going to be doing when they graduate, so that the students have chances to ask them questions and learn from them. Professional speakers, and then interview skill building sessions. Recognition and belonging. We do end of year events, award events. The one in the West Side is held at Highline College. It's in their big giant building that they use, and we fill it up. Students come, graduates come with their families, and we recognize their accomplishments. And it's a really big event, and it's a really nice event. And on the east side, we do one here. We did it last year in the Mooring Center, which is the center that is up there. And it was pretty full, it was pretty well attended as well. It's an opportunity for us to sort of celebrate student accomplishment, identify students who are kind of standing out, and then sort of send them off into the world as they graduate. And the West Side Center ceremony is becoming increasingly important because there's no longer a graduation on this. So for many people, this is the only opportunity they have to celebrate with their families. Who makes this happen? We have 2 student support specialists. We have one on the west side. She's located in Linwood. She oversees programming right now with Linwood, Des Moines, and Pierce. She supervises a campus activity team, her student employees. She coordinates all of the programming, goals, outcomes, and evaluations, and she runs the west side end of year event. We have another student support specialist. She is located in Yakima. She oversees Yakima, Wenatchee, and Moses Lake, and she oversees all of the online activities. So she's got kind of combined duty there. She coordinates the education after hours and virtual career programming and Eastside recognition and grad celebration. All right, our alignment, first of all, we think these programs are aligned with S&A because they offer co-curricular engagement, extracurricular development, and education enhanced outside the classroom. And then it's kind of aligned with the university's strategic plan because we believe that the events that they sponsor offer a sense of belonging, student success, engagement, and stewardship. And that's difficult to do across all the modalities. One of the biggest reasons why online students leave is because they don't feel a sense of community. So it's important that we have some way of reaching out to these students and giving them events that they can participate in. The funding request is to sustain 2 to 3. I think in the report that we sent in, we indicated that we have 2 student service specialists now. We used to have 3, and through funding complication, we've not been able to fill that position, which is why those student services specialists are currently reporting into me. But we're hoping that we can actually utilize some of this money to expand to 3. They would have oversight and coordination of the 6 physical centers and JVLM, the online population. They'll take care of their student employees, the annual recognition ceremonies, and career readiness programming. Oh, see that. Okay. So just in closing, many center and online students are different than the Ellensburg students. They're quite often transfer students. In most cases, are transfer students. They're older, they're working, sometimes parenting. The military affiliated are more in the Pierce area and JBLM, and they're already experiencing structural distance from home. Right? So the programs we're trying to do through Student Life is to sort of try to close that gap. Centers and online student life ensures that they can still experience community recognition, career preparation through educational events outside the classroom, and institutional connection. Did they do that in under 10?
Yeah, you have 2 minutes to spare.
Okay, questions, please. Carolyn. Thank you.
That's a very efficient presentation. I do have to ask this question though, because the request appears to be for just over a third of a million. I'm seeing that 70,000 is going to the students and more than twice that is going to non-student payroll. Who is that?
Those are the student support specialists. Yeah, student service, sorry. So that's the person that's located in Linwood and the person that is located in Yakima.
Okay, yeah, it's those 2 people. Thank you.
And the way that we handle the student money is that we split it. We allocated it out in 4 chunks. So we gave a chunk of it to Linwood, a chunk to Des Moines, a chunk to Pierce, and a chunk over to the east side. They can hire students up to a certain number of hours, and then once they run out of those. So it's teaching the student support specialists to sort of be judicious about how they're using their students.
So I'm hearing that it's not necessarily a direct response to the number of students that they're hiring as much as it is an allocation in itself.
Well, that's the way I wanted to handle it, just because I want to make sure that there's equitable coverage for students. The students have the opportunity to be a strong response.
Well, oh, there we go.
I just have a quick question about the online students. I think that all online students and campus students do pay the S&A fee. And so I was just wondering if you had any idea of like what kind of activities that they do, And maybe, if there are activities, I didn't see it listed for the, east side one.
So most of our activities are, if we do them live, we also broadcast, them, right? And that's when we got that alumni, or alum, Matt, it's called Matt. When he came to visit, probably we had 10, 15 students in the classroom and the rest of them were all online. And so that's what we did. Our education after hours, that is appealing to an online audience as well. So we're really focused on the online opportunities for students so that they can be included.
Great, thank you.
Kurt, could you speak to your guys' partnerships? I know you mentioned career readiness. I would like to make the assumption that you're working very closely with those career counselors that are also located on the west side.
We are looking at them, yes. We're looking more and more. When I first became involved with the student life programs, there was a lot more focus on the fun events and kind of the celebration events and those kinds of things. And I really wanted to utilize this money for education enhancement, career enhancement, and the like. That has drawn us much closer to career services. So we are working a lot more with career services. In fact, Jessica, who's located in Linwood, is also working with Mary, who's also located in Linwood. She's one of the career services guys. So, and we have plans for next year to continue to sort of expand these programs.
Good job.
Alrighty, thank you so much. All right, moving on to our last new business item for the day. We have the multicultural center, formerly the Diversity and Equity Center.
Clean up.
There it is. I called it. It's right here.
And then.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Stu, the Director of the Multicultural Center, and this is joined with Anisha Birch, our program coordinator. So this is us, yeah. So Multicultural Center, we've been through a lot of transition in the last few years physically and also kind of ideology, but you can see our mission here is to create culture for and really belonging, access to belonging for students on our campus. Through lots of different ways. There's, you see, this is our staff right now, and I want to kind of break down the different roles that we have to make it all happen. With a special note, you've already heard from Justin, who's in charge of ESC and came here for ESC budget, but I wanted to note that his position is housed and paid for out of our budget. And then we also end up supporting a lot of the programs that ESC does, like the end of year things that are funded by the president, but we run the logistics for a lot of that work. Katisha just joined us this year, assistant who is actually 0.5 right now. And then we have one grad assistant. Currently we have student staff here. Breakdown does fluctuate a little bit, but we try to keep at least 12 to 14 staff as budget allows. We've kind of had to piece that together sometimes with the amount of hours that they can get, but we definitely work on that. One of the biggest shifts that we had to do with the space that we have is to add more support staff with the sole purpose of managing the space, which is something we didn't have to do before, which I'll talk about later, the size of the space and some of the things that are happening there. And then we also have the students to help us do marketing and things like that. Here's some examples of some programs we've done in the last few years. Some of them are recurring programs, culture corners, and find your people's type events. We do all the cultural welcomes that we can do, although we weren't able to do it this year because of, well, partly because of budget and partly because we were in transition with the new space, waiting to move into the new space. You'll see QFAM, our affinity groups, Thrive is an affinity group. We just started a MOCA, which is a color affinity group. And we've got some things that we're kind of incubating, like our indigenous students are trying to build a club, so we like to incubate clubs that have a membership yet and help them get going and let them use our space. You can see some posters from different things, but we're also doing a lot of the Heritage Month programming. You might have seen some of the large speakers we brought to campus in recent years. This last one we had, so we had Jennifer King, who just came to campus in February. And earlier this year, we were able to bring Jackie Cruz. We've had Cheech Marin here. We've had Raymond Santana. So we've had some really large names, and those are done in partnership with Yakima Rotary, the other departments on campus that help us out with that. Large scale events give us the opportunity to really do some impactful programs. Here's some pictures. We know that some of them, we are all over the place. You see us in the circ there. That's us doing an event in the music building. Here, these are pictures of our current space. As you can see, students are already beginning to utilize it quite a bit. And up there, that's our open house. That we had our first open house. We're going to do another one. So here's, I put this up just to give a snapshot for those who didn't see our previous funding requests, not last year, but our last 4 years, just to kind of get a grasp for the type of impact that we've been having with students. I think, again, we host them all over the campus. Sometimes they're in our space, sometimes they're in the circ, sometimes we're in partnership with orientation and all things like that. So. Oh, like that. You see? Wasn't like that when you I just kind of want to give a recap of kind of what's happening in this most current update. We just so far this quarter we've done like 33 programs and have 1,200 students, participants of all different types, and we're having a large increase. So we just had our space increase. We were kind of opening up in phases, and we just kind of are just now opening up our third phase, which is the larger room. Here's some examples of some events that we've done. We did a Black History Month kickoff, Jennifer King, as I mentioned, with partnerships with academic departments and dining services, and once they come to partner, we try to make room for them to be a part of it. More. So I thought this was important to note that the space is getting a lot of usage too, not just that we're programming this space, but these ones here. These are some things that other people now are using our space. So the space is actually providing usage for other departments to come and do events. As you know, if you've ever tried to program in the CERT, space is a little bit limited and can be hard to find. And so folks have been able to now begin to program events in this space as well. So all of those are other places or other organizations that are using that space regularly. And then we also down here, we have our student clubs and orgs that we talked about, the ESC groups that are all meeting in there in some form or fashion right now. So we're getting a lot of good usage of that space. Talking about it, just as a reminder, so we started out in that little red square with about 6,600 square feet, and now we are up to roughly around 13,000 square feet. Making us the largest in the state at our size school, including Western, we're better than Western. And here's some more live action spots. We had some mock-ups. That's actually a mock-up, and this is kind of an example of what the space has turned out to look like. Really close match up actually with what they said it was going to look like. Here's an event that happened. This is BSU hosting Crimson and Black Ball just recently, last weekend. And they really kind of took that space and made it their own. That's our current living room area. And that's the kitchen mock up, and that's the kitchen in action. So we're having some really good creativity with how students are using the space. You saw this already, but we did ask for more. We went down obviously from our original one that we had in the 4-year. And what we asked for now is still 12% lower than what we had asked for in our previous funding cycle. So, and really, it just reflects that we need to staff more. Students are wanting to be there longer. We have typically kept it open until 7 at night. Students are wanting to be there till 8 to 9 to do practices. We have to have some staff there. So that's one thing. Also, the Crimson and Black Ball that I showed, that was on a Saturday. So we were there on a Saturday. So they're starting to show usage for wanting to have it open on weekends, but we gotta stop that. And then let's see. Yeah, something that was new for us too is just, having people clean up the space, set up, tables and chairs. Is we have to have staff that are dedicated to do that as well. So we're hoping to get more hours out of the day. Also our admin person is only 1.5, so at one point we would like to get that person back to full time. So that's what I got. Any questions?
Hi, Mel. I have a quick question about your goods and services budget that you have up there.
Yeah.
It looks like you're asking for 30,000 in goods and services. And in the past, you've spent about 60,000 a year for goods and services, and I was just wondering if you could describe maybe what's changing in that.
Or are we asking for less?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've tried to do is really partner. I mean, like I said, the programs that we do are partnering with Yakima Rotary, partnering with the president's office, partnering with other departments to see can they chip in on this. For example, we did a baptismal kickoff, or ABS was able to pay for the food. So we're trying to find a way to kind of maximize, and maybe we all put money in on this. And can still get the same level of programming. So
I'm gonna ask one more question. I remember last year when you did your presentation, and I believe the committee decided not to fund extra for the MCC expansion because it hadn't been complete yet.
Yeah.
So does this represent a budget based on a completed MCC?
yeah. I mean, I would love to have work.
Of course.
But I know that there's only so much in the pot. However, how many people have been over to the city? Yeah, so you've seen it's quite an expensive space, and we're just now opening up the last big space room to finish the tent. So yeah, we definitely see that. But I think the thing that's going to change is how we're just staying open and stuff. So how long we're open, being evenings, things like that. So.
I just have two small questions. One of the things you'll put here is you anticipate seeing increased online student service coordination. How?
Well, I think kind of in lieu of the conversation that the previous person had is that you do want to have access for students to be able to see events that are happening here live on campus. Sometimes it's like the FOMO thing, but we send things out to everybody, like we can't get to that. Is there a way we can watch that? So that's part of it, and connect it that way. And then really, I think you said online student involvement. I mean, I think that we should be able to open all our programs to online students, right? We have to find a way to make it interactive in that way.
Also, I would like to add that during our partnerships. All right, here. Also, I would like to add that during our partnerships, a lot of academic staff that have used the space for events have now been able to use the Zoom function to zoom in not only presenters, but also other participants that can't physically be present. And they have really at least said good things that it's a lot more convenient because then they don't have to figure out, well, can we do 2 parts because like we have to do an online part and an in-person part. So yeah, a lot of academic events that have been held in our space so far in the time that I've been here have 100% utilized the larger screens in our space to help remote students and other presenters join in.
Thank you. One more. What happened to your student service specialist? Was it a funding issue?
They that happened, the previous director made a decision, I think that, I think it was a conversation of whether or not that person was going to retire or not, but, I walked into that and I was like, hey, here's the rest of this position. So, and right when we were trying to fix it, then all the budgets kind of hit the toilet, so, so yeah, that's been something that we've been wanting and really important to the function of our center, given that we have quite a few programs happening there, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Mel, would you mind sharing, because I know the committee last year got to hear, but would you mind sharing where the funding came for the expansion and the creation of the MCC?
Sure. So what you're looking at is about a $6 million project that was lobbied for by students. And the administrators that were do the lobbying up in the president's area. And it's been a long time coming. This project was something that students had asked for. I mean, the deck used to be down where Slice is, and just one small section of that, half of that. So students are saying we definitely need a space that we can be present at, and that we can kind of have our own agency of being doing our cultural events and things like that. So everything in there was directly a result of what students asked for. They wanted a cultural kitchen so they could cook their own foods, have their own gatherings. They wanted more meeting spaces so they could have concurrent meeting spaces with other large groups. They wanted to have a dance area, a place where they could practice dance, and that is in the largest room that we have now. Is they call it the dance space, but it's a community room, and it has a floor that's for dancing with mirrors. And so it is really kind of an a la carte situation, including a prayer room, which is really cool. We have the only prayer room that has a foot washing station on campus, so it's a fully good to go, ready for everybody. So, so those are all things the students wanted, and that's what they got. So now we just gotta keep going. Yeah.
All righty. Well, with no further questions, thank you very much for your time.
So hard.
Okay. Now with all of our new business from the base funding out of the way, we have one last item on the agenda, which would be our supplemental funding request, the reallocation of Slice to club travel.
Give me just a minute, y'all. I gotta find the information that was provided to. Okay, I found the right place. Sorry. It's having a hard time finding that today also. Section for teams. I pretty much think it's the best thing ever. It's not, well, it's probably not because I work in it all day, but it gives me a headache.
Yeah. That's the. I'll take it right to the phone. I'll just think, Well, we sure.
There you are, Lola. I'm so sorry. It's very complicated. You need to talk into the mic. Sorry. Yeah, I from shower. I'm too. Are we ready?
Just go.
Yeah.
Okay. So you saw it in the communication at your last meeting. What we're asking for is to transfer some funds from the Slice budget over to club travel and activities. We have realized about $8,500 that is not going to be spent because for the leadership conference that just happened today, it's just wrapping up now. There were some earmarked foundation funds that were specifically for, one was specifically for a leadership conference, and the other one is an endowment that is specifically for leadership programs for students. So that's great, and we don't want to spend that money that we now are going to have, the extra money frivolously. We'd rather spread it out to another budget. But as you know from the past couple meetings, is needed for club travel. Questions? No.
Um,
Oh,
Robbie, question. Will we be voting on this weekend or for our next S&A meeting?
Friday, 13th.
Awesome, thank you.
Make a calendar.
Keep waiting.
13's a good number.
Alrighty. Well, if there are no further questions, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Well, pretty short meeting for today. There's no old business, so I will open the second call for public comment.
Okay, are you gonna do public comment or are you gonna do business?
Business.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, business.
I have business, and I should have done this during the advisory report, but I wanted to draw your all's attention to a new paper that's in your book, and it is also on students. And basically what this is what they received in the 2022-25 quadrennium, what they requested for FY 26, which is what we're in right now, what they actually were recommended, so what they're operating with. Then what they've asked for FY 27, along with any of the additional funding that they listed in their budget proposal. So then you get to their total revenue. And then I broke this out by what the actual expenses were last year, because that was the most recent completed year. And so you've got the total of staff salaries, student salaries, and then goods and services, then the total amount that they spent. The next column is what was unspent and went back to S&A. And then some calculations on the percentage and the dollar change. So this is a lot of information in one sheet, which is why I have written on a giant piece of paper. Then you'll notice at the bottom, there's two boxes. And I think that kind of what we had talked about in the past was there's sort of two scenarios of funding. One would be if you all were intending to move forward with a fee increase. So the first box is if you kept fee as it is, the S&A fee. If that's the case, then it is about it will actually be about $450,000 that you will need to cut. Because 50,000, remember, is just a one-time funding. So that could with the flooring for the ECLC. The next box is if you did decide to do a 4% increase, which is the maximum that S&A can be increased in a year, then you would need to cut 248,000 from the current recommendations, assuming that you would be overspending essentially the 53,000 in the first year. So I put this in here for you all to just kind of think about, because starting tomorrow when we're doing deliberations, as you're making your recommendations, it would be good to kind of keep in your mind of what your intention is with if you're going to be thinking about a fee. This is not making any kind of motion or action right now. It's just something to be thoughtful of, that there's going to be two sort of options. And how you proceed with that is kind of, it's like a choose your own adventure book. I'm probably the only one who knows what that is. Yeah, so that is all I think I have to say about that, but I just wanted to make sure that you all knew it was there, and if you have any questions.
Real quick question. So, actually, no, I don't have a question.
Okay, so that cues my while we have a few minutes. So you all know tomorrow starts deliberations, as Aaron mentioned. So we're gonna start the morning at 10. If you could all be here at 10. Lunch is going to be provided. I think I got to some of you, but not all of you, for Bob and Abby. If you could look at a Jimmy John's menu and tell me what you want. I will have it ordered and delivered. And then let me know if you have any food allergies. Traditionally, we do pizza on Sunday. So if you'd like something specific from Domino's, or you're like, hey, I hate cheese, so give me something like a salad. If you all could just either tell me or email me. Thank you, Eros. Sorry, girl made a comment and I gotta find it. There it is. Yes, Alex, I will make sure you can. So I just want to make sure that you all know that coming into tomorrow and Sunday, the conversation is going to be around how to fund areas based on the information you heard, based on the information in your binders. I have been trying to update current information as we've asked people for additional information, or maybe they made a mistake on their budget. So like I said, it's a very thoughtful conversation that we're going to have collaboratively. We'll have our panel mics back tomorrow. But just kind of be prepared for the conversation, what you're thinking, realizing that this does have an impact across campus. And that you all are making a tough decision, whether you cut 248,000 or whether you cut 450,000, it does have an impact. So it's not meant to stress you out. It's just meant for you all to just kind of think about process and things like that, and how you want it to go. We usually just do really just conversation. And then, so again, and then I just want to think one on process and then it's over to Alex. But so from last year, we learned a lot of things. And one of the things we learned is that by the end of Sunday, ideally, we have what we call our recommendation. It's a draft. So you've all made your recommendation about each of the funding areas and how much you have to allocate. Then I send an email to everybody that's in that funding area and say, this is the committee's draft recommendations for funding for the next 3 years. They get 5 days, it's technically 4.5, but they get 5 days to respond either in writing, or they can choose to come to our last meeting, which is next Friday, the 13th, and they can say, thank you so much, or they can say, I think you misunderstood what we do for the students. And then we would spend that time either making an adjustment to your draft, or you all say, no, even though we got more information, we still think our draft is the right one. And then that will be sent with Alex to the board of the student government meeting the following week. And then once they don't get to say yes or no, they get to say, we acknowledge your work and we thank you for the recommendation. And then it goes on to Vero and Joel as our CFO, and then they take it to the board of trustees. So one of the things we'll talk about tomorrow morning is because the fee increase is a separate process. But anyway, so like I said, draft recommendations by the end of Sunday. In a perfect world, I'm going to send the email directly following. They get 5 days to respond and provide feedback. And then you all make the decision on whether you're going to change your recommendations or finalize them. And then those final recommendations start going through the chain of command to be approved by the board of trustees in the middle of May. Yes. Okay, Alex, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Veto had a comment.
Oh, sorry. I thought I read that as Alex has a comment. My apologies, Vero.
No problem. Hey, all, I just wanted to make a public comment of I'm wishing you all the best of luck this weekend. I know it's a big lift for you all to make these decisions on how different programs will be funded. So I'll be cheering you on and wishing you the best through this. And I also want to thank you all for doing this work as well. I appreciate you all, and I look forward to hearing the recommendations. Great work, and enjoy the food too, hopefully. Jimmy John's, that's what I heard, right? So awesome. So thank you all.
Alrighty. Is there any other public comment?
I'll find it here.
All right. In that case, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting at 4:18?
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Seconded. Oh.
Did it pick up as the thing?
Yeah,
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes unanimously. All righty. Adjourn this meeting at 4:18.
I know.
See you guys tomorrow at 10. Alrighty, bye-bye.
Hopefully we do get it done.